Ahsoka show. Ahsoka show dropped one of the best Star Wars trailers of all time last week. I'm very excited for the show. This is the reality for the Ahsoka show. Everything lives and dies on this project. If this project is trash, the majority of Star Wars fans will be done with Star Wars until Disney sells it, or until new leadership comes in the fold. So this Ahsoka show is do or die. Ahsoka is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and Anakin's going to be in the show. There's like really characters, Balin and Shin and Thrawn and Night Sisters. There's a lot. We're going into the unknown, and we're going into the unknown regions, the new beyond. We're going to be exploring parts of space that we never seen before. Sabine is a Jedi. Ezra Bridger's going to be in the show. I mean, Hera's in the show. There's so many things that's going on. So I pray to God that this show is as good as good as it seems. And we just need good content, man, because if this show sucks, I'm not covering Star Wars for a long time.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And I know some people are gonna go crazy, but like, out of Marvel and DC and Star Wars, like Star Wars is just like the bottom of the three for me. Not to say I don't like Star Wars, like I do love it, and like I loved it growing up, and I still do. But I don't know. I just think pound for pound, I guess. Well, it's hard to say that against DC because DC has had some total trash movies.
Yeah,
But
I think Star Wars has the best content out of the three.
Oh, I disagree. I think pound for pound, they don't do so well. They've had a lot of bad movies, and they don't
No,
have
no,
as
no,
many
no, no,
movies.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying like in movies that they've made, but I think that like character and story wise, I think Star Wars out of the three has the potential to be the biggest because Star Wars as movie fandom has been massive with little story that they've put out. If they actually dug into what they had, they would be so much larger than what they are. And I think that Star Wars story is just one of the greatest stories of all time. I think Star Wars is one of the greatest universes of all time. Now, is it greater than DC? I'm not sure because for me, I think DC has the greatest universe of all time. But I do think Star Wars is like top two for me. And it is a shame to see how George Lucas's vision of this universe has been legit destroyed by people who don't know the actual content, people who just want to make movies. And I heard this really great thing, Comic Cuts, and this is the thing about Star Wars. They said this. They said they need to ask directors this, and I believe this is why another reason why the MCU has been doing bad. You know why?
They have
Because
people that don't love it.
no, that is one of the reasons though. But one of the things is this, right? Is that a lot of people made MCU content to add on to the story, not to make a name for themselves and to change the game, right? Like the Russos made Captain America the Winter Soldier to carry on the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
John Favreau made Iron Man 1 to carry on the story. It wasn't to change the game and to make a name for itself. It was to push the narrative in the story. In Star Wars, they've been trying to make these films to make names for themselves. Why do you think Ryan Johnson to destroy Luke Skywalker and change him up as a character? It was to make a name for himself, to be like the guy that changed everything, instead of honoring what came before and to carry on the story. And
yeah.
and I believe Sam Raimi did that in Doctor Strange. He tried to make a name for himself. He didn't carry on the story. I believe we've been seeing that a lot. And that's why when you get the Mandalorian of the season 3, which is trash, but when you get
I didn't even finish it.
yeah, but when you get people like John Favreau, Dave
Filoni.
Filoni, the guy who's writing Ahsoka, the guy who created Ahsoka, my favorite Star Wars character, one of my favorite Star Wars characters of all time. They care about what George Lucas created. And when you make these projects, you have to go back and watch it.
I forget who it was, but it was someone who made a comic book movie. And this was just today. I'm blanking on the name, but like he admitted that he never really cared for the movie, the source material, and I just like, I guess it's nice to hear brutal honesty, but like, that's the problem. And to your point of, the filmmakers doing it to make a name for himself, like that's what Taika did with Thor, and he ruined Thor. I mean, that was so bad, if there's any MCU movie I wish I never saw, it's Thor: Love and Thunder.
100%. 100%. So, you and me both expect Ahsoka to be a good show. So I'm actually excited
Yeah.
and I can't wait for it. So I'm
And
hyped.
by the way, I hope they recast Balin. Like, terrible Ray passed, especially so young. The other thing about recasting him, which I think would be so good for, I'm just going to start calling it our favorite genre, is because I think if they recast Balin, it's going to show people, it's going to make people comfortable with recasting after an actor's death. And I think that's like a pill that the fandom needs to swallow, and the sooner the better.